Hi guys, Catherine here from Intelligent Property. Flipping in a pandemic, what can we do or what should people be doing? I notice a lot of people at the moment are taking, I suppose, a step back to reassess. And a good deal of these people actually feel that the property prices are going to go down. So next year, so they're hoping they'll pick up a bargain then. I suppose I would doubt that logic. I think there is always something to be doing, and there's always a strategy that suits the situation which we're in now. So I'm still flipping properties. I suppose they were agreed at pandemic prices, if you know what I mean, because the things that are coming to fruition now were agreed probably back in March, between March and August. And once you know what you can add, whether there's a market for them, is the market increasing or decreasing in the area you're in? I do feel like the market is probably decreasing a bit in Dublin, and it's probably increasing in places that are like the new commuter belt. Now, what I mean by that is people drove in daily, say from Swords, all of those places, you know, out probably as far as Navan. People will go a bit further if they're only driving in a day a week. So the wider commuter belt is probably nearly up to Mullingar if people are going in and out only sporadically. So people will go a bit further out if they don't have to do it every day. And of course, you will know by talking to estate agents, if they're honest with you, that the market is slowing down a bit. I have just 2 new flips started now. One of them not started yet. One of them is in progress, and I've one on the market now. The one on the market is in Mayo, and it's not jumping off the shelf, but it's not a market where it is that they just sell in a couple of days. And also, this time of year is not really good for selling stuff. With the other 2, I'm just hoping to have most of the work done, so it gets the January market. Because anyone buying a house on the 9th of December, they know they won't be moving in before Christmas, so they don't really care. The shops are full of people. Everyone is doing their decorating. Was for anyone who really enjoys Christmas, I sound like Grinch. I'm not pushed at all about Christmas, but if for anyone who enjoys Christmas, they're getting out and about a bit again. They're feeling it's giving them a bit of a lift, so they're not particularly interested in buying houses at the moment. Other people are not buying houses, we should be all viewing and making sure we keep doing things. Back up in January is grand, but I would expect there's a couple of people who love to be sale agreed in the next 3 weeks. So there's probably a couple of people, 3 is too far, the 30th, in the next 2.5 weeks. So there's a couple of people who would probably love to just feel like it was squared away, a deposit was taken, even though it wouldn't be closed. So I will continue viewing right up to Christmas week, even though I know I won't be signing contracts for anything, I won't be starting anything. And your fear of selling it on again, I suppose I always focus on shorter term things. So things that don't take years to do the build, do the renovations. Bear in mind, the market, the arse doesn't just fall of the market overnight. It is a gradual thing if it does start to slide in an area. So you will have some warning. So be cautious but proceed. You may find also, because of the climate, if you're in an area that's slowing a bit, that landlords are more open to delayed completion or lease options or things like that, because it's isn't flying off the shelves. So, you know, keep your thinking cap on. Inactivity is never the answer to anything really. So keep your thinking cap on. You know, how can I bring this to my benefit? Like at the moment, while everyone else will be racing around shops, I'm actually starting to look at a few bigger deals now. Probably nobody else is going to bother looking at them in the next week or two. So that gives me a chance. And as I say, I have projects starting. Works which will be ready to go to market in January. Perfect time of year for selling things. It's a fresh new year. People are making plans. And I suppose for somebody buying rental units, I see lots of things on the forums telling them, don't buy, wait, they'll be cheaper next year. What if they're cheaper next year and you can't get a loan? Will you be delighted that you saved £5,000 if you're wanting to borrow 80,000 and you can't get it? Will the lack of the 80,000 make up for the 5,000? So there's no such thing. Prices and lending are a seesaw. So don't just think you're just going to get the same mortgage at the same deal. You're not. When times become difficult, lending will become tougher. So I would still proceed with caution. I think we're in a kind of an icy road situation at the moment. Proceed with caution. Locking yourself in the house, not going to any of your appointments, is not actually the solution either, because things are moving all the time. The more you're out and about to talking to agents, the better feeling you have. Your feeling for the market might be only based on DAFT reports which come out every quarter. The agent, literally, the feeling can change week to week. He or she can know, yes, last week was really good. I agreed 5 things, but viewings are down this week. They literally have a day-to-day, week-to-week view of the market, and it's specific to your local area. Remember that DAFT and these reports, they're only statistics. Big transactions will throw them out of it. Now, they're categorised 1 bed, 2 bed, 3 beds. They're not categorised by whether they had marble worktops or not. They're not. They cannot get behind the things and say, we're seeing that you have to view it twice as often to get it sold. We're seeing that only your local agent can tell you that. And sometimes your local agent will know an awful lot of stuff that you'll never find out if you don't find a smart way to ask questions and get that knowledge from them. Sometimes people forget to ask the questions, but they think that somebody should have told them everything. Does. So going ahead, keep moving, because it's the only way, obviously, to get to the place you're going. But proceed with caution, I would say. If you're a complete beginner, you might want to consider, nobody should be out considering doing flips without having done training, because I do see an awful lot of questions, people about to invest, and I see a question on a forum that if they didn't know the answer to that question, they should not be investing their hard-earned cash. Basic questions about conveyancing and stamp duty and things like that. It's absolutely crazy that they would invest their life savings and not have a good understanding before they start. And if you're doing it without an understanding, you go and you find somebody who has that understanding. We sometimes source property for clients, either to flip or to keep, depending on, sometimes they're living abroad and they just want help with that. But also, if you have money you'd like to invest, but you don't want to do it yourself because you're nervous, because times are you can pop us a message and I can talk you through investing hands off, which pays 8 to 10% per annum over a 3 to 5 year period. So I hope this has been useful. Don't just stay at home doing nothing. Proceed with caution. Keep going. And you're learning more and more as you go along. Thanks. Hope you find it useful, Catherine, from Intelligent Property.